Welcome to the deep dive. So we have this just fantastic, really dense stack of weekly analysis in front of us, the Retter Reboot.
It's a lot to get through.
It is. And our job is to slice through all that noise and get to the strategic insights you need. We are tracking a monumental shift right now.
Absolutely. The sources this week, they don't just show acceleration.
Yeah.
They show a competitive environment that has gone completely existential.
That's the right word for it.
That's absolutely the right framing. This isn't just iteration anymore. It's outright strategic maneuvers to gain market share, to keep it.
Right.
The headlines we're unpacking, the IPOs, the internal code reds, the new chips, they all tell the same story.
Which is?
The cost of entry and the cost of staying ahead in this AI race are both just skyrocketing. So our mission today is to look at those dynamics first, then pivot to the platforms that are making it all, usable.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're jumping right in. The high-stakes battle between the model builders, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google.
And the global challengers. Can't forget them.
Right. This is a game of winner take most, and the strategies, well, they're getting pretty dramatic. And we begin with the battle for capital, for dominance. The sources are confirming that Anthropic is getting ready for a potential IPO, and they're reportedly engaging a very, very serious slate of law firms and financial advisors. This isn't just another funding round.
No, it's a public declaration. It's a direct, we're coming for you, to OpenAI's spending power.
You are exactly right. It's a critical acceleration play.
And if you look at why it matters, Anthropic is scaling up its enterprise offerings, expanding Claude.
Through big partnerships.
Through huge partnerships. But the real cost, it's in the infrastructure and the talent. Training these models requires, astronomical investment in chips.
Mostly NVIDIA GPUs.
Exactly. So an IPO provides that war chest, not just to buy chips, but to lock down contracts for years. And crucially, to outbeat everyone else for the world's top AI engineers.
Whose salaries are just unimaginable at this point.
Unimaginable, yeah.
And that strategic pressure seems to have hit its mark. And fast. This is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Right on the heels of that Anthropic news, we learned that Sam Altman, OpenAI's CEO, has reportedly issued an internal code red.
A code red?
That sounds less like a roadmap and more like a panic button.
That phrase alone just captures the pressure they're under, the acceleration of it. For OpenAI, it means they're facing heat on multiple fronts at once.
So it's not just about Anthropic's models.
Not at all. It's about their business model. They're reportedly seeing enterprise users defecting, going to rivals like Anthropic who offer more privacy-focused options.
And then there's the cost.
The cost per inference. Every single time ChatGPT answers a query, it costs them money. And when you scale that to hundreds of millions of users, it's punishing.
So the internal response is?
Prioritize. Faster product cycles, deeper model upgrades, aggressive feature expansion, anything to make sure ChatGPT doesn't lose its lead.
And when you're dealing with that much pressure, those crushing costs, you start making some big, maybe surprising decisions about money. We got a huge surprise this week, a leak. It detailed OpenAI's plans to roll out ads inside ChatGPT.
A massive pivot.
It really is. And if you're using that tool for, say, objective, factual research, you have to immediately question what this means for transparency, for integrity.
The internal documents show they're testing really granular mechanics. We're talking sponsored responses, product placements.
Right in the chat.
Right in the chat stream, full advertiser tools. And if you connect this to the code red, it makes sense.
Oh, so?
They need massive sustainable revenue, and they need it fast to fund the next generation of models that can keep them ahead. Monetizing context, turning a conversation into a transaction, it's the quickest path.
So we've got the Western giants fighting over capital and ads. But meanwhile, the global field is not standing still.
Not at all.
Google's making a major power move with its latest upgrade.
Indeed. Google is rolling out the newest version of Gemini. They're calling it DeepThink.
Okay.
And this isn't just about making the model bigger. It's focused entirely on enhanced reasoning, long-form planning.
So not just answering a question,
but designing a whole supply chain plan. Or structuring a multi-quarter research project. It's aimed directly at winning those high-value, complex enterprise jobs.
And across the Pacific, we've got DeepSeek, a major Chinese rival, coming back into the race aggressively. 2 new models.
And they're aimed directly at challenging both Gemini and ChatGPT.
What are they emphasizing?
Improved reasoning, much longer context handling so the model can remember more of a conversation, and faster inference speeds.
So it's cheaper and quicker to run.
That's the fascinating part. Their focus is on operational efficiency. They're not just trying to match capability, they want to lower the latency and the cost.
And that longer context is a huge deal for enterprise.
A huge differentiator, yeah. Where you need a model that understands massive amounts of your own internal data, it just shows this race is truly global now.
So what does this all mean? The model competition is fierce. It's existential. But none of this speed, none of this capability, it's not possible without the right platform.
The right hardware.
Exactly. So let's shift our attention now to the foundational infrastructure. What AWS is building to turn these models into real enterprise tools. And when we look at Amazon Web Services, we see a strategy that is all about accessibility.
That's right.
They've rolled out new capabilities for their AI agent builder, and the goal is really clear. Let people build sophisticated, autonomous agents without needing a PhD in machine learning.
They're democratizing it, lowering the barrier to entry strategically.
How are they doing that?
They've added tools for task orchestration, breaking a big goal into smaller steps. Better multimodal input handling, customizable reasoning workflows.
And they're tying it all into their other services.
Crucially, tighter integrations with Bedrock, which is their service for foundation models, and Lambda, their serverless compute. The goal is to be the indispensable default platform for building these automated assistants.
And they're not just building tools for the agents, but for customizing the core language models themselves.
Exactly.
They're making it simpler to build an LLM that's tailored to a company's own internal data.
Right. AWS has rolled out new features to streamline data pipelines, automate evaluation, all through Amazon Bedrock. And this is critical because enterprises are realizing that a generic model isn't enough.
They need it optimized for their own proprietary data, their documents, their emails.
Their legacy systems, everything. By making that process less complex, AWS just speeds up the adoption curve for these custom, organization-specific LLMs.
But the news that truly stopped the industry cold this week was the introduction of a game changer, Amazon's KRO.
KRO is a profound step shift. We're moving from AI assisting human coders to
AI replacing them in some roles.
In specific roles, yes. KRO is an autonomous AI coding agent. It's designed to work for extended periods without any direct human intervention.
So you give a high-level task, like add this feature to the product.
And it plans the development process, generates new code, modifies existing code, runs tests, fixes its own errors, and iterates over days or even weeks.
That is genuinely staggering. We've been talking about co-pilots, which assist.
Right.
KRO is the pilot.
Right.
Flying the plane by itself. What are the immediate implications of that?
It changes the economics of software delivery.
Yeah.
Fundamentally. It promises to compress development cycles. You get instantaneous debugging.
But it must raise huge questions about quality control.
Oh, absolutely. And the nature of work. If an agent is writing most of the code, developers shift from being creators to auditors.
Their job becomes verifying the agent's logic.
Exactly. Verifying the logic, making sure the agent didn't miss some complex blind spot. It's an acceleration that comes with a whole new layer of systemic risk.
A necessary pause for thought right there.
Yeah.
But let's get to the foundation, the hardware. Amazon also debuted a new custom AI chip this week.
Yes, and the strategic implication here is vital for their cloud dominance. First, it obviously aims to improve training and inference performance on AWS, more efficiency.
And the second part.
This is the masterstroke. Amazon hinted at a more NVIDIA-aligned roadmap.
Meaning?
They're designing their custom silicon not to replace NVIDIA, but to work better with NVIDIA's GPUs, greater interoperability.
So it's about flexibility for the customer.
Total flexibility. It minimizes vendor lock-in. It makes it easier for companies already on NVIDIA to move to AWS. It makes AWS an even safer long-term bet.
So the message from Amazon is just undeniable. We have the models, we have the autonomous tools, and we have flexible, optimized hardware. They're building the entire operating system for enterprise AI. Let's shift gears completely to the visual realm. The race for generative dominance there is also hitting a fever pitch. We got news on Runway's new Gen 4.5 AI video model.
And what's fascinating here is just the sheer speed of iteration.
Right.
Runway is claiming that Gen 4.5 is already outperforming benchmarks from giants like Google's VEO3 and even OpenAI's Sora 2 in early tests.
And the improvements are technical, but important for realism.
Very. Increased realism, better motion consistency, and something they call improved temporal stability.
Okay, for those of us who aren't familiar, What does temporal stability actually mean here?
Well, think about an AI-generated video where the background sort of flickers or an object in the distance just dissolves and reappears for a second.
Right.
That's temporal instability. Gen 4.5 is dramatically better at maintaining the consistency and the physics of objects across longer sequences. It means we're getting closer to being able to generate realistic scenes that hold together.
It feels like every week a new benchmark is set and then immediately broken.
Precisely. And the visual domain is probably the most demanding in terms of computing power, so any breakthrough here is a really significant infrastructure victory.
Now, we need to end the news stack with a crucial dose of reality. All this incredible technology relies on robust infrastructure.
It does.
And we saw a major failure point during one of the most critical shopping days of the year. We have to talk about the Shopify outage.
The one right in the middle of Cyber Monday. This is probably the most important real-world counterbalance to this whole week's narrative of acceleration and efficiency.
What was the immediate impact?
It temporarily stopped a massive number of merchants from processing orders, from displaying product pages right in the middle of a day where every second of uptime is worth millions of dollars in revenue. Just widespread financial disruption.
This is such a vital reminder for you, the listener. We're talking about AI coders and instant video generation, but the foundational systems running commerce are still fragile.
Under peak demand, yes.
So what's the real lesson here for enterprise strategists?
The lesson is that your focus has to be balanced between innovation and resilience.
Right.
Now, Shopify stabilized things quickly, restored operations, they're doing a full review, but the failure validates the caution a lot of companies feel about relying completely on these new technologies.
Speed is nothing without reliability.
That's it. The moment of highest demand is always the moment of highest risk. And that friction point reliability under stress, that's what really slows down the adoption of new, faster, more complex systems. It's a reminder that scaling is a non-linear problem.
What an intense week. It shows us two sides of the same coin, really. The core tension is this existential competition.
The IPOs, the code red.
Met with this massive, focused investment in fundamental tooling. AWS's Agent Builder, the KRO Coder, new video models.
And that tension crystallizes into the biggest trend of all, the radical acceleration of automation combined with an urgent, sometimes desperate, search for monetization.
The models get smarter, the tools get more autonomous.
And the platforms are scrambling to figure out how to pay for it all. This raises an important question for you, the listener, to mull over.
Okay.
Given that Amazon now has an autonomous coder, KIRO, designed to remove humans from the loop, and OpenAI is pushing to monetize every interaction with ads, how quickly will the user experience of the internet transform?
From a human-driven search for information
to a purely automated, monetized transaction. And what friction point, whether it's policy, the massive challenge of infrastructure scaling, or just foundational reliability like that Shopify outage, what will truly slow that shift down?
A truly provocative question to end on. The foundation is being laid for a completely different kind of digital world. We hope this deep dive gave you the map you need to navigate it. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll catch you next time.